So, when you meet a life partner, love life, love life means a lot of things to the polyamory community. So, in 5D plane here, we're not stingy about love, it's infinite. And that's because we have healthy self worth. So, we're not afraid of sharing because we're caring. And what I'm going to say is it's a personal choice. But in the meantime, love is something you actively are overflowing with when you do have what is called healthy self worth from your 0 1 year old. I'm attachment trauma informed, and I integrate human, spiritual, and spirituality elements, and I share with you the 5D mystic enlightenment functional adult life. So obviously those people who think anyone speaking anywhere is trying to set down some rules, no, some of us, we know how to share what our subjective experience is, and then we care to support people, in my case, for you to be yourself. And with the inner growth mindset and with my additional attachment trauma information, I can share with you why those of us who are in love always are, whether you are polyamory or monoamory. But for my polyamory community, come on over, because secure attachment polyamory is very different. We're not afraid of being rejected. We're not afraid of being inadequate. So this social system that the adolescents have, the Pinocchio with wooden bodies. Now I will be using stories, and I know some people will not like to hear stories. I'm going to try to remind anybody who's listening, there's people who resonate with material, and that's where they come and listen, and then we share lifestyle, and I support one-to-one mentorship and ask Maria. So I'm supporting ones who want the inner and outer well-being. We're not contesting people's right to believe whatever they want. And so here's where, if a person wants to fuck and have shame and not go to therapy, that's their belief, right? There you go. They want to say they're not flat earthers, but hey. So on that note, there are no demons or romanticizing, no superheroes, and no supervillains. And there's nobody who needs rescuing. We do not demonize any of the personality disorders. In fact, there's a lovely person that I've been following, and every now and then she shares of how unfortunate it is that because she's a diagnosed narcissist who is healing, she will get hate mail, if you will, or bullying, and then all those therapists or coaches who are actively demonizing in one way, shape, or form with stereotypes. And yes, that's a very sad thing. So at IHP, our community is built of lovers alone. We're not stingy because we're not afraid. There's not a lack mindset. There's not a fear mindset, even though we'll be afraid of things. Like for me, physical death, it's not because I don't know that I will be coming back alive. No, I'm a mystic. I do. I just want to live. See, a piece of consciousness in human form, which is the embodiment of pure consciousness, is unconditional love. And when I see the 4D collective thinking that we're not meant to learn it, I'm like, wow, there's another Pinocchio with a wooden body. So love life is only love life if you know how to stick around. Otherwise, you're just fizzling out. And I will not be insulting you, but I will not be fearing inadequacy. I learned how people who are adolescents think that confidence means you're a snoot. And I said, yeah, I'm not a snoot, but I don't want people to think that I'm thinking they're not worthy either. So I figured a way to be humble. And I figured that it doesn't really matter, because people will think that when they discard you after fucking you, that you be sad about it, right? No, I didn't mean to make you feel worthless. I didn't say I'm worthless. I can be sad about a connection not going the way that one will have planned. And it's not painful, this rabbi who thinks that feminines have a painfulness of letting go. No, no. When people don't know how to love, we're like, wow, thank goodness. I didn't have to do anything. I was saved from having to try to figure out, how do I let you know you're worthy when it seems your nervous system just keeps on going in this on, off, and you don't want to become aware of yourself. And no matter how much attachment or trauma information you share with people, there are those who do not. So see, while some people are healing, some of us, we don't need to heal. We are already love, and we embody it. And then we're like, I'm trying to be decent human being, while you're thinking I feel like a piece of shit. I don't. While you think I'm traumatized because I smile all the time. No, I'm just trying to make sure you don't understand that I'm thinking, wow, you're blue all the time. You should go to that Zen master. He's got laundry in his body. That way you can feel better, which is what they do. So people who don't love life, they don't want to hang around people that do love life. It's okay though. We want to hang around people who do love life. We don't want to hang around the ones who are going to be Eeyores and think of a problem. I'm also an entrepreneur, so I like to expand my horizons. So yeah, anybody who's not expanding is lacking the imagination for evil. Oh, that sentence is never going to get old. Okay, so we're all worthy somewhere. Yes, we are. And some people, we do personal development here, and that means you want to do emotions. I'm going to stick to it. No, the world's not perfect, nor is anyone adaptive child, because adaptive children are the only ones who apparently think that there can be perfection. And I'm a perfectionist, but I've become a very flexible perfectionist. If tears of love, thank you, Sadhguru, joy and ecstasy have not washed your cheeks, you are yet to taste life. Okay, so here's where sadness is about connection. And there's a difference between those who are ruminating and those who simply say, I'm going to process emotions. So let's talk about those who are playful. They're not anybody who doesn't get a handle on their inner child. And again, I have all the compassion in the world. I know from enough trauma experts the pain it is to get their therapy people to keep coming back. I'm here for personal development. So it's that step of, oh, I want to do emotions. Yay, Maria, come on over. Okay, 1-to-1. And then we're going to have a master class for a group. Because, it's important for you to be with healthy self-worth people. And there's a lot of Pinocchios with wooden bodies. And I have a feeling that you're in love with me. No, I have a feeling that, I hope you're in love with me in a good way. And here, we're open to love. No touchy. Like Cusco, don't touch, meaning that we're not all polygamous. Okay, so let's be playful. And I do know that some people won't like the comment about lusting. So, FYI, all of our basic emotions in human land, they have no story behind it. The people who do use lust at this point in our human being journey, it's not about Lucifer or demon or devil. Nope, but it is about your sympathetic doesn't need to be what's on, nor your dorsal vagal. You can learn to navigate it. There's enough technology, science, all of it. So there's no more excuses. No one's fucked up. I'm just so sorry that the superhero capes don't have it figured out, but it's okay. They're going to stick with their 3D, 4D spokespeople, and they're going to think of them knowing what love is through lust. And we're going to leave that alone. Okay, so when you know how to be an actual partner for life, that means you always know play, because you know how to navigate yourself. Okay, so navigating yourself means that you can pause and say, oh, look, I have thoughts. Oh, look, I have emotions. Let me share them. Okay, so we're going to read something, and that's going to be something short that I wrote. Okay, when we unconditionally love with flaws and imperfections in all of our relationships, we always grow and expand consciousness. We get to experience authentic and genuine aspects that go beyond what words can describe. So when people talk to you in your face and they're themselves, it's the most beautiful gift you'll ever have. When they turn into Pinocchios with wooden bodies, it's really just boring and flat. And I'm 44, and yeah, there are a lot of boring people out there. That's because they don't want to work on their inner child, and then they slowly just play out karma and think that their highlight is high-risk behavior, getting touched by all these other random human beings who are strangers, and who knows if there's trauma being resolved or not, since they don't do any of these activities with good therapists around them. That's going to change in time, thank goodness, because there's conscientious holistic practitioners like myself who are going to make sure to bore, quote unquote, the shit out of people and say, okay, serious, are you serious about you? Because I'm serious about you. So your inner well-being means a lot. And as Daniel Siegel shares, every reflective practice, it brings stuff up. And so the very least of any one of us who's holistic is to introduce, for one, stop if it gets uncomfortable. Don't push your limits. Understand the importance and the sacredness of actually expanding your window of tolerance so that you do not clinically dissociate, so that you do not re-traumatize yourself, so that you disengage from maladaptive child behaviors and patterns that are not about evil. They're about a human being body that can navigate a inner and outer well-being. So I'm going to break that down. And love is your oxytocin gene hormone. And fear is a very yucky emotion. Not emotion, I shouldn't say that. The biochemistry of fear, because it's not the emotion that's yucky. The emotion, we need fear. Fear keeps us safe. So I misspoke. And that's because I'm thinking of how that biochemistry of rumination is. It's like with lust. I just think of this lagoon with, I have an image. I'm not able to describe it because I don't have all the words. I'm trying to think if I can get one of those cartoons that I've seen before. There's one with rats. The one with the ruby. She loses her, she needs to save her town by getting the ruby to some place. That's I need to look her up. So that's the image. The image is when she's getting to this rat. It's all scary. She's a poor mouse who's never left, but she's gonna go save her home or something. The home's drowning. Her kids are gonna die. Anyway, imagine why we had. If you think about my generation and our cartoons, really, I mean, I think about it. I grew up with cartoons that were tragic, every kind of tragedy you could imagine. No wonder, some of us grew up in ways. Luckily for me, I was smart enough to not do any of it, meaning I stuck with my teenage boyfriend. When he broke up, I was like, yay. After a month, I was like, this is so great. Then I got to date, and then I got some more serious relationships, and then I got my twin flames, and those were good enough for me to say, okay, I thought you would all be a lot more interesting. You seem to be interesting on certain aspects. On other aspects, you're very not interesting because, when you meet people that consistently navigate the lack of imagination for goodness, because, see, they have a lot of imagination for all those supervillain capes. So they don't seem to notice the other stuff. You know what I mean? So that's when you have people who just want to say, Maria, life's shit. People are shit. It's like, wow. So I can't help but notice that there's so many people that are misanthropists, and that's what I'm saying. They don't know what love is yet or life partnership, but we will help them to understand that life is beautiful, and we're going to keep moving forward to create safe haven, secure based relationships. So all of our relationships are supporting our expansion of consciousness when they're authentic. When they're facades, we expand, they move away, and they go and they fizzle out. And they turn into donkeys, some of them. Yeah, it's unfortunate, the donkey business. But we are fragments of each other, and so they maintain this balance of energetic density that is out there. I don't know how to explain that one. It's not provable. Again, 5D mystic here. Relationships, they are unconditionally loving. They are with flaws and imperfections, and they hold the opportunity to support learning how to express and be true to ourself and to tap into your infinite higher human conscious potential in this lifetime, not the next one. The 4D are the only ones like next lifetime. Sure. You won't remember who you are. I'm life. I'm love. I'm expanding consciousness. I'm infinite higher human potential. I am you. And the lovely quote that I shared with you all is how love is supporting each other to fly. Love lifts you up when you're down, and it soars the skies with you when you're up. And love is always there. And like Rumi says, goodbyes are only for those who love with their eyes. Because for those who love with heart and soul, there is no such thing as separation. So 5D state of consciousness, it's when you're a human being who knows safe haven, secure base, which is why love is free, but you also know what a life partner is. And it's not somebody who fizzles out because they have unresolved trauma. That's why. And they will project it all over the place, and it gets real boring. So if there's one thing a smart woman doesn't enjoy is anyone, man, woman, or they be, keep a man. He has shame. He's not texting you back. Make sure not to fuck people. Wow, really? I live a short life. You think I'm going to make sure? I'm going to make sure that don't worry. I know my gut. That's for some of us. In fact, we notice the ones who don't know their gut, they end up with strombolies again and again and again. You try telling people about lust. They don't listen. Women, men, days again. They seriously, teenagers think they know everything. They're grown-ups, but they're teenagers because they're like, I know everything. Found it hard to believe that my 3 years of life, the first ones, matter anything. Well, you keep choosing fear, please. Please do. Have fun while you find a life partner who can stick it through, because unfinished business is what you're looking for, and that's where the home is. You can finish it at home, or you could just, figure it out, because if your relationships don't grow more loving and you don't grow more loving and more happy, that's the deal. If your human suffering is not going down, your tears are rumination. They're not liberating. So when I get afraid, which I do, that's why it's not a yucky. I know why. Sometimes it's unnecessary, but I will cry, and I don't feel guilty about it or ashamed about it, because I didn't get fear-mongered by my mother, who allowed me to be a kid. And she will still share with me how silly it is sometimes, like anybody else. And I'll say, I know it's silly, but I know it's okay to be afraid because I want to live. Which reminds me of my demo with my lovely Dr. Albert Wong. His voice comes into my sometimes, because see, that's what happens when I'm going to cry right now. When we process emotions and we have experiences, the resources come up. Since I did a demo with him, And in this demo, we're exploring my fear, and he says, "Let's tell your body it's okay to be afraid." And I'm like, "I know that," and I'm trying not to cry on screen. I'm being recorded for a demo that other people are gonna watch, you know. And yes, emotions are okay, but I'm trying to be right here effective for course material that other people are gonna benefit from. There's no need for me to break down in that moment for something I'm processing. But that was that little sliver of trauma memory, which is why I'm like, that is really painful. That's a really painful. But people who get out of hell, they're like, yeah, I'm happy I'm out of hell. I love healthy self worth. I don't want stromboli. What do we got to do with stromboli? Get away, lust, shoo shoo. They're gonna not want to be around people who don't know what love is or life is or partnership. So being afraid, I don't give my 1 year old a hard time because I got to grow up and say, hey, it's okay, Maria. Don't worry. You love life. And that is what consciousness loves. When you think of all the hypotheticals about what consciousness is, it broke up into pieces to discover itself. I'm the part of love that all of us can be. That's what I know I chose, and it's beautiful. And obviously, there's all the other emotions too. So, if you want human love narrative and love life, come on over. Let's build those 5D relationships. If you want human suffering love, there's a Zen master for you who tells you all about how you have laundry in here, and you can go over there and have fun, or you can come and laugh at us. I mean, it's okay. We're gonna laugh at every person. That's what it means to be playful. And in the meantime, let's love each other. So we'll be back with more. Have a good one.